All right, welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mac podcast here on 1010XL's podcast platform at 1010XL.com. Of course, on the 1010XL app. We are live on Facebook, which is the 1010XL page and my personal page as well, and it'll be shared all over the place. You know where to find all your favorite podcasts, whether it's audio, video, or a little bit of both. And you know where to find great content right here from this studio. A lot of content from some of your favorite hosts right here on 1010XL as they bring you Gator reports, Jaguar reports, Seminole reports, high school reports, all types of reports right from here. But great to be here. Great to be alive on a Suck It Up Tuesday. And this show brought to you by Team Tommy Mac. You'll hear about them throughout the show, the Truck Accident Law Firm, the Carpet Man, Riverbend Ranch, Azar Sausage, J-Dog Junk Removal, and Chris Lucero Bail Bonds. I came up with another tagline, but before I tell you what that is, let's say hello to my esteemed producer. I tell you, this guy, he may be young in numbers, but he's learning really quick and very knowledgeable at a young age of what it takes to make our ladies happy. Let's welcome in Graham. What's up? What's up, Graham? Good morning,
sir.
I won't get into it, but that was a nice conversation.
Well, speaking of making the women happy, this morning, my girlfriend had to go get her car serviced.
Oh, okay.
She's got the deal with Toyota where they do it. You know,
okay, yeah.
You bring it in
warranty
every couple of months
deal.
Or whatever. So
yep.
A little bit earlier morning than I'm used to, but you know,
yeah.
That's what it takes.
Oh man, I've been through a Taylor Swift concert on the way to school today. We had 4 of them in the car today.
Wow.
Yeah. I love all types of music, so I do like some of her stuff. But I swear, lately, that's all we've been hearing is Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift. But whatever, that keeps them happy. I came up with a new tagline I added to a tagline for Chris Lucero's bail bonds. You want to hear it?
I do.
So if your ass gets thrown in the clink, Chris Lucero's bail bonds will get you out in a blink. But if you jump on his bail, he'll be on your trail fast as hell, and I may join him. There you go.
All right.
That? So if you get in trouble, call my friend Chris Lucero. There you go. 904-822-BAIL, 904-822-2245. Put that in your phone, and hopefully you never need it, but if you ever do, he's the guy to call. How'd you like that? You like that? A little long. I got to cut it down a little bit, but we'll make it work.
A couple extra syllables.
Yeah.
Here, so
there you go.
You shave like 3 syllables, and it's perfect.
Then it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just hey, you jump bail, you're in trouble. He's coming. He's coming. He's got a nice
But the heavy
cavalry.
lifting is done.
I've met the cavalry. You don't want them coming after. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. All right, let's take a look back at last weekend. First of all, want to thank everybody. Couple things, real quick. Thank you for coming to the Dad Bod Show last Friday night at Culhane's in Atlantic Beach. We had a blast, great crowd. Enjoyed it. I thought it was our best couple sets yet, so that was cool. And thanks for everybody that came out last night to the Beef, Beers, and Ball event at the Ritz in Jacksonville Beach. The burgers were unbelievable. And I got to tell you something, man. Now, I've never really done this before, but taking the burger, and I do it at home. I do it at home all the time. But taking the burger from, raw meat, making it, throw it on these grills that my friend Mark has. He's at Ionati's food truck right outside the Ritz in Jack's Beach. He's been there for like 20 years. Got one of those awesome griddles or whatever the heck you call them. You know what I mean?
I've seen it a time or two.
Gosh. Anyway, it was pretty cool putting burgers together, wrapping them up, putting them in the hole to keep warm, and then people come up and. I was kind of like, I was saying at the table after I was done, it's kind of like going to the grocery store. You got your list, you're accomplishing your list, it's kind of like doing laundry, right? You got this load of dirty laundry, you make it into clean laundry and fold it, and, anyway, that's how I felt anyway. But the burgers were unbelievable, and the meat's just absolute incredible. But I do want to say thanks to everybody for showing up at those two things. Let's get into the Jags. Our backups kicked the crap out of their backup. So that was real. Hey, and it was good to see. And I watched a ton of it, pretty much the entire game. And we got a little dinged up, which isn't good. But look, you got your backups to see who can play when the lights come on, right? When the lights come on, you better be ready to rock and roll. We'll talk about who was, maybe who wasn't a little bit. But overall, it was complete domination. I mean, especially defense. Man, we kicked the living crap out of their offense. They didn't do anything. I think they had a total of 131 yards in the entire game. That's an ass whooping. I mean, that's just taking them back and giving them a couple of these in the head. It's great, great to see. I mean, look, again, backups on backups. Hey, it's always nice to know that your backups are better than their backups. It's like when you have an A and B team in high school, right? Yeah, there's a reason there's an A team and a B team, but you love when your B team beats their B team, right? So, little sense. I thought it was a very good showing by our Jags.
Apologies if you're planning on mentioning this guy already, but Jeremiah Ledbetter.
He's there. He's in.
He's in. God.
Just welcome him in, man. He's in. Welcome to the family. I mean, you're on the team. You're going to play a significant role. I like the way that guy's playing ball.
So I think we've talked about this before, and other people on this station have talked about this before, and I think it's very true that throughout like OTAs and a lot of training camp where you don't have pads on, you don't really get to see necessarily who belongs. Really what it's almost more for is seeing who doesn't belong. Yeah,
like who doesn't have it athletically, right, basically.
And then those pads come on, though, and you get to see, especially those linemen, you get to see who just has that nastiness and tenaciousness and get after it ability to be able to play substantial downs.
You got to be a gamer. You got to be a gamer.
That guy, oh my God. I mean, Detroit had no answer for him the entire game. They had no answer.
He played well last week, too. He makes plays
really well
when he's in there. And he's earned himself a spot in the rotation. There's no doubt. 100%. Now, granted, they're going to need him because Devon Hamilton's hurt. Of course, Foley, Fatukasi is hurt. And, we're going to need some depth there. So it's good to see. Gotsis will be there. Ledbetter will be there. They'll need him. They like Lacey. Looks like he's playing and is playing a little bit better. So it's going to be, listen, it's the last week. I said this on a little video I sent out early. It's nut crunching time for guys that A, are trying to make the team, and B, who are trying to earn significant roles for 2023, whether that's starting or just being a pivotal in the rotation like Jeremiah Ledbetter is working himself into. It's a big week.
And their last, not to sound kind of grim, but their last, a lot of these guys' last like really significant chance was on Saturday against Detroit because they'll play second half. Yeah. But it'll be much more limited because the starters are going to play.
The starters should play, and I'm glad we'll get into that because I know people probably out there, why are they playing? But you got to play. But listen, they'll get a quarter and a half maybe, or maybe a half. Some guys won't get the entire half, but you'll get you'll want to see more of your offensive line because the O-line is banged up, and we know Cam, who was oddly getting bull rush like crazy Saturday. I mean, was he just not into it? And I started thinking too, and this is a little conspiracy-esque, and I don't like that, but are they playing him a lot to maybe trade him? I mean, if you really feel, by the way, Walker Little looks great at guard or tackle now. I mean, he is so athletic. Gosh, it's amazing how big that dude is and how athletic he is. And he's getting that nastiness built in. He is. You could see it coming out of him. Would you, if you could, move, Cam? Is that why you keep playing him? Like, he can't. He's not playing, regardless of how much he plays in the preseason. By the time he starts up again, he's still going to be rusty. It's not he's out of game speed for 4 weeks. Just because you had him at game speed in the preseason, I don't think it's going to correlate to. Now, you may have been doing that because you didn't want Walker Little thinking, hey, this is your job and here you go, which I agree with. You got to earn that. But I think he's earned it. If I got to go out there with Walker Little at left tackle, I'm happy. I'm happy with Harrison. I didn't need to see him. He's going to have some growing pains. They all do, but he's got the goods. That kid's got the goods, and I think Walker Little has proven he's got it too. I still want to see more. Look. What we say here today on a Tuesday may be different after watching them go against the Miami Dolphins. I mean, I'm expecting the starters. This is your dress rehearsal, right? This is it before the real lights come on. Like, I want to make sure, at least for me, now granted, if they don't, it's not Doesn't really mean a ton. But if they do roll and it looks good and you can walk away from it and be like, all right, we're ready. And we know what that means. If you walk away from it, you're like, we'll just wait and see. I'm not going to like that. That doesn't mean anything, though, right? You still got to go to Indy regardless and beat them. And they got their own issues up there. I mean, that owner's made a mess of Jonathan. I don't know. I'm not there day to day, but whatever. I don't really care. We got to beat their ass and come back 1-0. You got Kansas City week 2. There ain't no time to warm up. Let's go. Right? And that's why Doug's playing them, and he should play them. Look, all creatures of habit. They've got to get, look, especially as a unit, you get a long drive going, right? 10-play drive. They happen all the time. 8-play drives. They happen all the time. Are you conditioned for that right now? Probably not, because you're not until you do. So we're going to get that this week. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to say, okay, look, I like what we're doing. I like where we're at. I don't want anybody getting hurt, but I also got to know that these guys come Sunday, September, 12th, 11th, whatever. Was it the 11th? What is that first Sunday? The 11th, maybe?
The 10th, I think.
The 10th?
Yeah.
Right. We got to be ready.
That Monday.
We got to be conditioned to be ready, and that's how you do it. You can't do it by running gassers. You got to do it by playing in the game. But
yeah, September 10th.
September 10th. Beautiful. It's a shame about Cooper Hodges. It is. It sounds like it's a patella. We don't know what that is. Did he, is there a chip in his kneecap? Did he crack the kneecap? Did he tear the patella tendon a little bit? Is it stretched out? Is it torn? What the dealio is? Hopefully it's not too severe. Brewer. Was it Brewer? They kept saying on TV, Brian and Bucky, they're like, it's his eye. It's his eye. And I'm like, it's not his eye. Like, what are you seeing? Like, did you watch it when they were? They thought maybe it was something with his eye, but you could tell he wasn't feeling too good. And Josh Wells got hurt, so they're dinged up. But a good thing look, I don't want to say this because they're still valuable and very important, but that they're not your starters. But look, again, you can get hurt in the first week. We've seen it. You got to play. It's the only way to get your team ready. Unless you want to just go into that first week thinking, well, we'll just see how we do. You know what I mean? We want to get off to a fast start. We want to come out and show that we are a legit contender. I think we will, but I'm glad he's playing the starters. I am. And I don't care about coming out after halftime. I think that's a little overrated. Now, when it's the Super Bowl, it's different because Super Bowl halftimes are like triple or quadruple as long as normal halftimes are. But typically halftimes, I mean, you're in and out. Dude,
NFL halftimes are
quick. Yeah, it's like 10 minutes, 12 minutes.
It's like barely a commercial break.
It is. And as a player, you feel it. You're in and you're out. So I don't think you gotta get used to that too much, but you do want to make sure my guys are conditioned to play long drive. Like my defense, listen, even if you've done it in high school, you know what I'm talking about. When you're gassed on a drive, there's no prep for that other than going through it. You know what I mean? I've been there a million times, maybe not a million, but a ton of times where you're like, oh, mother, you know what?
And the first thing
you can't get your legs behind you. You can't catch your breath. You're thinking about how tired. I mean, it's until you go through it, you're not going to be ready for it. So,
and you know this better than I do, but kind of what you're saying about like, even if you did this in high school, you kind of know what it feels like. Because I played receiver, so I ran all over the place. And we ran like a spread, no huddle, like we were running like crazy. The first thing that goes is your mind.
Once your legs get tired,
dude. When you're tired, man, and you start really
thinking about being tired.
When you start really having to labor each play.
Yep.
It all of a sudden, man, getting the play call and being like, oh, what do I got to do? Like how normally, if you are really comfortable with the plays, you're able to see what it is and line up and run. And you're not thinking, you're flying around your play. But when you start getting tired, that extra half a second that you got to kind of think about what you're doing, the ball snaps.
Just think about. Go back to Tyson's greatest quote, right? Everyone's got a plan till they get smashed in the face. I'll go back to when I asked to spar with the police officers, and I got cracked in the nose. I wasn't ready for it. I didn't know it was coming. I didn't know it was full. I mean, he drilled me, and my legs went to cement. I couldn't breathe. And I was like, holy cow, right? But then once you experience it, you're like, okay, that's not that big of it. Wasn't that big of a deal. I saw stars for a second, but I came back. My legs kind of came back. I'm focusing on my breathing, right? It's the same thing. You got to get used to it playing football. The question is, can you afford to not have it week one? I think it depends on your team.
I don't think you can.
If you're the Jags or any team, because if you're Kansas City and you drop the opening week, you that worried?
Sure, but I mean,
still need it. I'm not saying it's not important, but
my thing is, don't ask me. Ask Andy Reid. He plays his guys in the not a ton.
No, but he plays them enough.
Patrick Mahomes suits up and throws a couple of passes in preseason games.
No doubt. He played a lot last week.
If anybody has earned the right to be in total bubble wrap all of camp and all of preseason and do nothing, it would be Patrick Mahomes. But
he's not. He's not.
That's far and away the best resume in the league of any team over the last few seasons. Not even close, right?
Yep.
And their guys play.
Right.
So that's kind of my approach. Is it's like, okay, if the freaking Chiefs can play their guys, we can play ours.
Right.
That's my
absolutely.
thinking.
And again, injuries happen all over the place, right? Look at Devon Hamilton. We don't even know how he got injured. We don't know was that a weight room thing? Was that just a back issue that he's had for a long time that just flared up? And what is it? Who knows? You just never know. So I'm glad they're playing. I'm glad Ben Barch is back. Looking forward to seeing him at left guard next to Walker Little. Shatley's still dealing with his thing. I wish that guy nothing but the best. I every time I hear about him, I get scared. Like, geez, how do you come back from that? Like, I know people have a fib, right? A lot of people do, and they live with it and they manage it. But how do you do it as a professional athlete?
He's been in practice, basically every day. So
yeah, but he can't hit. There's no hitting.
Yeah,
right.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
All right, you are right. I am sure, but I'm not sure when he can hit.
No, I know. Well, Doug was saying he still can. Yeah, so you gotta wait for that. But he'll be somewhere in the mix, and then you got to decide. This is what's interesting about, and we're going to get into a little bit about the cuts. Like how can you? So the backup center Williams, I like him. Right, he's a good player. Number 60.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I don't have his first name. But he could be a backup all day long. I'd feel comfortable with my backup center. The question is, well, wait a minute. I got Shatley who can play center. So do I need someone else instead of Williams because I just need him? My tackles are banged up. Maybe I need another tackle or maybe I need another guard. Can he play guard? We haven't seen him play guard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those are the decisions that have to be made, and they're not easy.
Wells is hurt. Cam is suspended. Do I need to bring in another tackle?
Do I need to bring someone? Well, they just brought in the one guy who played left tackle a lot this past weekend. They moved Kronk into guard, and he played left tackle. Bobby something. Big guy. I don't know. Is he, the goods to be there? But that's what comes into play this week. And it's not an easy week for the coaches either. You get attached to these guys. You appreciate the work. They're chasing a dream. You know it, man, and you feel it. If you're a good-hearted person, I'll go back. When I got cut by the Saints, Jim Moore was a total jerk to me. He didn't care.
Really?
He was basically, you're not good enough. You're out of here. He wasn't like, thanks so much, really appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. I go to my linebacker coach's room, and he's in tears. He feels terrible. He's like, Tommy, you really played your ass off, man. You really I know you were right there. We're keeping 4. You would have been 5. He said that whether, that was true or not. But you could tell he felt bad for me. And you should. That dream's over, man. Whether you played it, you get a chance to play it or not, I tell people all the time, it ends for everybody. May end after high school. It may end after college. It may end after a couple years in the NFL. It may end after 15 years in the NFL. But it ends for everybody, and it's a sad day. So it's a tough day for these guys, but that is the job.
We've all seen cut day on Hard Knocks before over the years and you, to your point, different coaches handle it and word it and say it very differently.
Yep.
I always thought the coach that I thought did it the best was Sean McVay a couple years ago when they did. When
I didn't watch it.
They did Chargers Rams that year. It was a couple years ago. I think it was the COVID year. But he was shot every guy straight. He said, "Hey man, it's numbers. Not everybody's going to make the 53." And he would even say he would even tell them in the room, "Hey, but so and so was calling about you."
Right.
Or stuff like that, just to kind of at least give them some sort of guidance for their next step.
Right.
And I thought that was cool when I watched it. I was
very cool. I like that.
Because you
don't otherwise know, right? And they may not tell your agent.
Yeah,
depends.
Not that I would. I'm not sure how that typically works, but he would say stuff like that. Hey, or even he would say, "Hey, but we called Seattle because their linebacker coach coached you in college or something like that."
Yeah, helping you out.
They would take the extra effort to find the connections, which I thought was cool because there's a lot of guys that all they need is a new location where they're more needed.
Yeah,
there's a lot of guys.
Numbers.
Like
a lot of it is numbers. Now, not everything. There's some that they're just not good enough. They're just not going to make it in the NFL.
Yeah, sometimes you just can't play.
You for whatever reason, you're a step slow, you're a step weak, you're a step short. You just can't play well enough. Whatever the case may be. That's when like we've been talking about, when the pads come on, the games start. That's where the separation begins. Hey, Azar Sausage Company, third generation owned, family owned and operated, homegrown and down home right here in Jacksonville. They grow it locally. They process it locally. They're in your local grocery store. Make sure you ask for Azar Sausage in Winn-Dixie, all throughout Northeast Florida, in some of the select Publixes and other grocery stores right here in Northeast Florida. I tell you, it's the best sausage I've had. We eat the hot, we eat the medium, had sausage dogs, little peppers, little onions. Oh, it was so good the other night right at home. And when I cook sausage, I cook Azar Sausage. All right, Tank Bigsby, great job. You know what? I'm calling him. He's a triple threat, Grammage. You know why? Because I saw him pick up a blitz pickup and stone the blitzer, and that's what I'm talking about. So we see the vision. We see the speed, the cutting ability, you see the soft hands, you see that he can run, you see it take it to the house, and now we can see he knows how to pick up a blitz, and when he does, he's delivering the thunder, which I absolutely love. Let me tell you something right now. When Tank shows that, or any running back shows that, that gives the coaching staff tremendous trust in putting you out there, because the last thing that can happen is your quarterback getting killed because my running back missed the block. Just cannot happen. So great job by Tank. I thought that was really good. Hey, by the way, sidebar real quick. The fine on Quan Alexander, 43 G's. Was that? It didn't even look like the helmet's hit. Did you see that?
Yes.
What is that? You can't hit like you. What do you want him to do? Like wait until you. Like, okay, I'll let you catch it and then turn, and then I'll try to tackle
so
you.
Stupid,
I mean,
man.
What kind of crap is going on? That was a phenomenal hit. Are you kidding me? If that was a hit that I delivered, I would have been like, that's almost a dream hit.
Did he even get flagged?
I mean, come on.
Did he even get flagged? I don't think he did.
I don't remember him getting flagged. 43 G's.
I saw him the play. I didn't see anybody.
That's
and he
crap.
was like celebrating with teammates after the hit and stuff like that.
Big hit.
And if there was a flag, he would have been like mad about that. So
we have to
I don't think he got flagged.
Awful.
So you're telling me
awful.
The refs that see it right in front of their eyes don't think it warrants a penalty, but the NFL is going to come in and send it. Dude, I hate that.
They're saying he led with his crown. I don't think he did,
I
man.
didn't see
and
either.
I think it was to the side anyway. It felt like the shoulder hit the upper part of his
I thought he saw what he hit like you're supposed to.
I think so, too.
I thought it was face mask and...
Stupid.
Dude, it's dumb.
Please don't. I mean, those are legitimate hits. I'm okay with the the wide receiver running down the field doesn't see it. You know what I mean? When you're into, but catching a ball like that and turning around and getting drilled, come on, man, that's part of the game.
I think
so dumb.
I think that the league obviously over a number of years now has really struggled to kind of put correctly into like words and in a defined rule.
Yep.
What type of hit you can and can't make.
Right.
But when it comes to dirty and dangerous hits, I think all of us that watch ball know one when we see one.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
You could tell now.
It's pretty, like, for me at least, the majority of my life watching football, when there's a really out-of-line, dangerous hit,
right,
the entire room I'm with that's watching the game,
quiet.
We all go, oh, my God, at the same time.
Yeah.
We all see it.
Totally.
And then we all know what a big hit is.
Right.
That's a clean, not dangerous, like, not out-of-line hit.
Right.
It's dangerous, but you get what I mean.
Yep.
And the reaction is, oh, it's more like a highlight.
Right.
We all know that difference because we all react the same way.
Well, that hit was a highlight hit.
Of course it was. It was a great hit.
It was a great hit.
Really quickly, back to the point you made before that.
Yep.
I think we have established that this is a very pro Tank Bigsby podcast, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is like a...
Are somebody not pro Tank?
No, I'm just saying that this podcast in particular is...
I had to see him. You know, he looks fast and he looks great in a uniform. I mean, he looks great in practice, but now you see it in a game. And when he did that blitz pick, I was like, all right, this kid's ready. He gets it.
He's very
not afraid to put his face in there.
And a guy that I think a lot of us loved. He reminds me a lot of James Robinson. He's a little more explosive.
Yeah, he's more explosive.
He is more,
but James was quietly explosive.
He was.
You know, he was. But this kid, I think he's got the take it to the house capability.
Tank has, in my opinion, I see more top end speed with Tank. If he gets to that second and third level,
too, though,
and I get to break off to the side and get a foot race to the pylon with a safety, Tank wins a lot more of those than James might.
Yep.
But in terms of the short area
and the vision,
good vision,
cutting,
I get the ball. I kind of run into a wall, but I know immediately where to kind of bounce and find some space and some wiggle. And something that ETN needs to get better at, Tank, like James, is very good at never letting defenders get the huge clean shot on him.
Right.
Because Tank's not a huge dude.
He's built, though.
He's built, but he's not like...
Him and ETN are kind of similar in size, but he's more muscular than...
But we've talked about this on the show, and it's been talked about by a ton of people. ETN just gets decked every time he gets hit. Tank is really good at having that little bit of wiggle where no one gets that direct shot on him. So I love Tank. I love everything I've seen out of Tank.
Yeah, he's been great. He's been great. And I'll tell you, you look at Johnson. He's probably my number 3 now,
Dearness Johnson?
Dearness Johnson,
I agree.
He runs smooth, man.
But Hasty's a good player, too.
I like Hasty, too. You got to figure out. I'll tell you, like, you take the tight ends. Prince has fallen off a little bit for me.
Yes, I agree.
But Farrell you need because he's a beast blocking, and he likes to get after it.
Kind of the new Man-Hurts.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's kind of the new, I don't want to, Mercedes Lewis is top of the tier.
But I get what you're saying.
He's got a little bit of that in him.
It's that type of guy.
Right.
I get what you're saying.
Ingram, of course, and then Brenton Strange, he's also that type of guy. So do you need 4 tight? Let me ask you this. Will you keep 4 running backs or 4 tight ends?
I would keep 4 backs.
I would too.
I would too. And it's not even about it's not even about like positional importance. Yep. It's about I like my 4 backs better than what my 4 tight ends would
I agree.
Be.
No, you like Casey better than the 4th tight end.
At this point in camp, but really what we're asking is, do you want to keep Garrett Prince or JaMychal Hasty? Yeah. That's really what you're asking. And
basically,
I would keep
in this
Hasty.
instance. And maybe they say we want both. I don't know. They may say that.
That's true.
Depends.
I think in a meaningful football game, when it's November and it's the 4th quarter against the Ravens and I got to go score, Hasty could play that whole drive and I'm good.
I agree with that. Especially out of the backfield. Especially out of the backfield.
Not that it would make me uncomfortable for anything, but Garrett Prince wouldn't get in the game.
Right.
Because Ingram would be in.
No, I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
But Hasty's played important football for this team and delivered.
He's
been good.
Good on the ground and with
that guy has earned every snap he's got.
I like him. I like him a lot. We'll see what they end up doing that. I do want to get a receiver talk real quick. Hey, listen, you heard it from the coach. There's no controversy for the backup QB. Nate Rourke's a nice prospect. He's going to continue to grow. I think he'd be my emergency number 3 and let him run the scout team and let him get better and better. Somebody may grab him. I think can they grab the emergency QB or no? Is he susceptible to being?
I think he is
taken.
I'm not positive, but I think he is.
Look, Beathard, like I've been saying, it's more than just yes, the games matter. Yes, they matter. The performances matter. But what matters most is the role of the backup. The role of the backup's not, look, when you need him, yeah, he's got to perform. But you're hoping you never need him. So the biggest role is him being the sounding board, the buffer, the extra, hey, I'm helping you out here to the starter. And Beathard is that. They feel he knows the system very well. Rourke knows some of it, obviously, but he doesn't know it like Beathard. They feel more comfortable with Beathard. There's no controversy. Kid, keep playing. Look, I may not even play Beathard this weekend, but let Rourke take over after Trevor's done and let the kid rip it up. I mean, and also see what happens. But it's more than just playing on the field. You got to be that good teammate that's not sitting there going, oh, I can't wait to start. I can't wait to start. You saying, no, I'm here to support you. I'm looking to, they have a good relationship. CJ can go to Trevor and be like, hey, Trev, you missed, or you should see that. Did you see that guy coming over? Did you see that, how they switch from zone to man? Whatever it is. You need that kind of guy as your backup QB.
CJ being a few years older than Trevor matters, in my opinion.
Well,
and
also, okay, fair. Well, Rourke is too, isn't he? Or are they about the same age?
I'm not sure.
25. He's an older guy, I think.
But Beathard has just seen more in the league.
Yeah.
Because he had his time in San Francisco.
Agreed.
And Beathard was something that nobody can take away from CJ Beathard is he was here through Trevor's first really awful year.
Right.
And to have somebody that was in the trenches with you during all of that, like CJ Beathard
was a good teammate. Yep.
Man, that goes
a long way.
That's big, man.
And let's be honest. Trevor Lawrence, no disrespect to anybody else, but he is the most important player on that team.
And it's not even close.
And you better keep him happy.
He's the most important player in franchise history.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's not even close.
Without a doubt.
And also, just really quickly, Rourke is more fun to watch, but he's not necessarily better than Beathard.
No.
Just because he made some awesome plays that are really cool and fun.
He's a street baller kid.
Yeah.
Which is fun to watch.
But are we like absolutely positive that if we had to have one of the two of them in a pinch for 2 games, that Rourke would be the better option? Do we know that for a fact?
Well, we don't know because he hasn't run the entire offense.
Right.
CJ can run the entire offense.
Correct. And online, like on Twitter and stuff, I just... And I understand it because he is more fun to watch because he makes more play. He's Minshew-ish.
And we root for the underdog.
Of course.
He's kind of an underdog. So
but just because he made some plays in the preseason doesn't mean that if, obviously, knock on wood, if I'm in a pinch for 2 games, that doesn't mean that he's going to deliver me better results.
Right. Not that he can't, but I feel more comfortable CJ will because he's been around. He knows the offense a lot better, and Trev likes him a lot better.
And to your previous point, all the other really important backup QB stuff we know is Beathard.
Yep. Right.
And then on the field, I don't know for a fact Rourke is better than Beathard.
No.
No.
Hey, the kid's playing some good ball, and I'm happy for him, and hopefully he gets a chance somewhere. If it is here, great. But there's no controversy about that. Hey, the Carpet Man's got the lowest flooring, man, LVP and carpet and all types of tile and all types of stuff to cover your floors. Check them out in Orange Park on Wells Road or on St. John's Bluff Road right here in Jacksonville. Caddy corner to Craig Airfield. It's the Carpet Man, home of LVP. All right, let me throw this at you. Okay, so everyone's talking about the wide receivers, and they should be because they are fun to watch. Even the backups are fun to watch. We know the starters are, but let me throw this at you. Number 1. So to me, it's coming down to, let me back up. I like Parker Washington. I like him as a return guy. He's going to be a backup returner, so he's on the team. There's no doubt. I don't know if he was just a pure wide receiver and not a return guy. I don't know where I'd put him right now.
He'll probably play some other special teams too, you'd imagine, right?
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. And which is great. Shoot, he might even be the up back. Wouldn't that be fun? You could throw some games with him, that type of thing.
Corey Grant days.
Yeah, right. Good call. No disrespect him. I like the kid. I'm not saying that. But when I look at some of the other wide receivers, I'm more impressed.
I agree.
That's just my opinion.
I agree.
Elijah Cook, I'm going to throw 4 out there, and I'll rank them, and then you can too. Tim Jones, Elijah Cooks, Seth Williams, and Jacob Harris. I like all 4. I like Cooks, number 1. And I really like Tim Jones, too. Don't get me wrong. He's been around. He's done well. He's a good special teamer. You need him there. I think Elijah Cooks has the makeup, the size and speed makeup that can cause tremendous mismatches to offenses, in my opinion. I got to see him more. Don't get me wrong. I'm not ready to anoint the kid anything, but man, his size and speed and being able to run routes and catch, and he's big. It's going to be tough to not have him on the team. But now, okay, I like Tim Jones as well. Then I look at Seth Williams, and he reminds me of Willie Jackson. And I really like this kid. I mean, he'll make the tough look, I know what people are saying. Well, how much are you really going to utilize him if you got it? He might not even be active, right? I think Cooks, because of his speed, could be active. Maybe not every week, but they may be like, hey, you know, their third DB who we're playing, I don't think he can keep up with our guy. Let's see what he can do. Think of a nickel back on Elijah Cooks. Think about that. Think Trey Herndon on Elijah Cooks. Elijah Cooks like 6'4", 230 and can fly. I don't know. I got to see more, but that's how and I like Jacob Harris too. He would be probably my out of the 4, my 4th, but let me and then I'll add to this. You can rank him as well. With Jamal and Parker being your return guys, can you hide them on special teams and give you more wide receivers on the active roster or on the 53? Right? So they're not listed as wide receivers. They're listed as my kick returner and punt returner. So that takes them out of that box, moves them over to this box, and now I've got 1 or 2 extra spots. You know what I mean? Or that could be a way they look at it.
At wide receiver, but that doesn't give you more actual roster spots.
No. So at wide receiver.
Yeah, but you'll still
have to make these 4 guys, maybe 2 or 3 of them could be eligible because we're not counting Jamal and Parker as wide receivers on our 53. They're on our special teams.
Well, they're still on the 53.
Well, they're still on the 53. I'm sorry, yeah.
But not a receiver,
but not listed as a wide. They are wide receivers. I'm just wondering if you could
list them differently to
manipulate the 53 to keep my guys so nobody can come up and grab them.
It's just
because Cooks will be gone in a heartbeat, and I think Tim Jones has played well enough. Another team would give him a shot like that. I think they would get picked up quickly.
I was talking to our good friend, our good late night friend Ryan the Hacker Green, about this the other day.
Yep,
and he was sort of half joking but not. He was like, you know, teams do this all the time this time of year. He's like, in about a week or so, just pay attention. Seth Williams or Elijah Cooks or one of these guys is going to get a mysterious ankle injury or something, and they're going to go on IR. Because you can protect them if they're on IR.
They can't,
and they don't take up a roster spot.
Yeah.
So he was saying that just watch out for one of them to get a mysterious hamstring or something like that, just so you can keep them on IR for now.
Yeah.
And then, you know, give it some more time and maybe you promote him or practice squad him or whatever.
I wouldn't do that to Elijah Cooks. I want to see more. Don't get me wrong. I want to see more, but I think he's got a skill set that's unique on this team anyway.
My favorite out of those guys is I really like Seth Williams a lot.
I do too.
I think two for me is Cooks. I really like Cooks a lot.
Yep. You like Seth 1?
Yeah, Seth 1.
You take him over the other 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I go Cooks after that. I really like, but Williams and Cooks are like 1A, 1B. They're basically the same.
It'd be great if you keep them both. That's what I'm saying. Could you keep them both?
Yeah,
and throw
I see what you're saying.
Then count the other guys as special teamers.
I think Tim Jones is 3 for me, and then I would put Jacob. But to your exact point, I really do like all of them. And
I do too. I think they all can play.
Realistically, they're going to keep the guys that they feel can contribute the most on special teams. I think that's what's going to end up happening. Even though, to your point, Cooks is probably the best straight-up wide receiver out of those 4. In terms of...
Okay, let me throw this at. So, Parker could play the slot, but he's not beating anybody deep.
No.
He's not. Kirk can beat some guys deep, but he's more of a setup in space, shake you down, and then get open. Cooks will beat your ass deep. He's more of a weapon, in my opinion, than Parker Washington.
I agree.
Is as a wide receiver. Obviously, Parker's got the return, capability. So
I think that far down on the roster, they're going to prioritize those guys' ability to contribute on special teams. It's why Chris Claybrooks is going to make this team.
Yeah, he's had a good camp, though.
He has.
He's had a good camp.
He has, but
I like the way he plays.
I personally believe Greg Jr. has leapfrogged him on the roster.
Gregory Jr., he would be tough
in terms of defense.
Yeah.
But Chris Claybrooks is arguably the best gunner in the NFL. So they're going to keep him on the roster because of that ability. This staff prioritizes
it's a big role.
This staff really and I think rightfully so, because the Jaguars have had very strong special teams the last couple of years, and this past year it helped them in a lot of games.
Yeah,
and I mean, how many times last year on punt team where the Jaguars really had to flip the field? Did Logan Cook give us a boot?
Right,
and then Claybrooks was right there.
Yep,
like that. That's really important stuff.
It is.
I do believe Greg Jr. has leapfrogged him on defense.
On defense, yeah.
But I know I'm veering away from what we're talking about there. But the whole point is, I think that the guys they feel out of that crew that can play the most special teams is who I realistically believe they're going to end up keeping.
Well, Junior, he's going to run down. He can run.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's why Daniel Thomas will make this team.
Daniel Thomas, that's the reason he stayed on this team for multiple years, right?
He's a great special teamer. No doubt.
And Tim Jones played a ton of special teams last year.
Yeah, he did.
And he was good at it.
I'll tell you what, and I hate to say this because I've gotten to know Heath Farwell, the coach, but they didn't look very good Saturday, the coverage units. They better tighten that you-know-what up. They didn't. They were bad. They gained a lot of yards on returns, Detroit did.
I mean, on
Saturday.
Look at last year, especially those last couple of games.
Yep.
Look at how Jamal Agnew was killing people last year. That Titans game, I don't know that they'd have won that game without Jamal Agnew, some of his returns.
I agree.
Didn't he get to the 50 twice?
Yes, he did.
I mean,
it was huge.
And the offense couldn't move the ball that game.
Yep.
They were really struggling. So Agnew getting them to a position where if I get 2 first downs with McManus, probably 1 first down.
No, right.
I got a field goal already.
Absolutely.
Like it's crazy how important it is, but how little people seem to care sometimes.
No, you listen. That's part of the glue. Having a great gunner, it just helps you with field position.
It does.
You can flip the field, but big punter and by the way, I thought Parker would return a little bit more. He caught fair cuts, a little quick for me on a couple. Maybe he's just little nerves. Who knows? But he's got some quicks. There's no doubt about that. And I like that he does. He gets up the field, tries to get up the field quick.
Sure-handed, too.
And, he does. He does. He's got good. All right, let's look at the defense before we do. Miles Jack retires. Congrats, Miles, on a great career. Good for you that you can walk away after 7 years. You'll go down, in history of the Jags, one of the really good players for this franchise. Really, really good player.
Nothing but good things to say. For the most part, the one thing used to that drove me crazy is when we'd give a big play and he'd throw it.
Yeah,
but that's just kind of a little small joke thing. But
I've always liked the way he played on the field for sure. So congrats to him. I know everyone will say he wasn't down. Clearly was because they called him down. So that sucks. But that ghost is gone now because he's retiring. So can we get rid of that ghost?
No.
I never liked that ghost.
No.
There was no guarantee we were going to win anyway.
I'll sing Miles Jack wasn't down until my deathbed.
Never. All right.
Those would be my last words.
All right. Let's move to the defense real quick, shall we? Of course, Jeremiah Ledbetter, we talked about him. He's making a name for himself. Gregory Jr., same. Ventrell Miller making some plays. Caleb Johnson, I'm telling you, this is 57. He keeps making plays. I keep talking about him. I don't know if he's going to beat anybody out for a backup role, but he's out there making plays. He may have a shot somewhere else. Tavon Campbell, number 29, I like him. He's playing some good ball. Christian Braswell from Rutgers, my dad's alma mater. He's playing well too. They're gonna have some tough cuts. They really are. And I will say this: defensive positions, linebackers and DBs and some D-line, they really have to play special teams in order to stick around. You know what I mean? You have to.
Especially because, like we just talked about, Greg Jr.'s secured himself as a guy he's gonna play some meaningful football for this team. He's making the roster.
I agree, yeah.
And we know Daniel Thomas is making the roster.
Yep.
And we know Antonio Johnson is making the roster.
Yep. Right. It's hard.
There's not that many guys after that.
No, I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know. Well, who would you look at? Let's just take linebackers. How many are you keeping? And is Muma a lock? Is Shaq a lock?
I think Muma is. He was too high of a draft pick too recently. I think to not the politics of the game is going to save him a little bit. I think Shaq is absolutely not a lock. I don't believe
not a lock.
I don't think so.
He's out there at special teams though a lot. I
love Shaq. I hope he makes the team, but him. I don't think he's a lock. I just think
it depends how many you keep. If you only keep 5, I'm just talking the inside guys. Well, that fifth, the 3, 4, and 5 all better play great special teams.
Aluakin, Lloyd, Muma, and then you got 2 spots left.
Has Caleb Johnson unseated Shaq? I mean, it's Shaq, Miller, Ventrell Miller, and Caleb Johnson, right?
Ventrell Miller's going to make the team. I forgot about him because it's just draft picks.
Yeah, I know.
The more recent of a draft pick and higher you are, the more of a secure spot. There's no way they cut Ventrell Miller, right?
No, I agree. And he's played pretty well.
He has. So, there's one spot left. I mean, if you think Caleb Johnson has played well enough, then I think Shaq doesn't make the team.
Oh.
Right?
I wonder how they are in speed. You know, is Caleb much faster than Shaq?
That's been Shaq's Achilles heel. He's not lightning fast.
He's not, but he's quick. He's got good instincts. He knows how to play the game, man. He could be my inside backer. You know, he could. I mean, I like Lloyd and Aluakin a lot better, but if he had to play, I would be okay with it.
Dude, I love Shaq. I hope he makes the team.
That's going to be an interesting cut right there, though.
I really like when dudes from Jacksonville are on the team, too. So I'm a little bit partial to Shaq because of that.
Right.
When he would say stuff like, you know, after they'd win and he was the West Side, finna go crazy. I love that stuff. So I hope he makes the team.
But that's going to be a tough cut. That's going to be a tough cut right 100%. There. You know, for the outside backers as well. I mean, Smoot's on the team. Abdullah's on the team. We know the starters are on the team. Then you got Chase on. Who
45 is not making the roster.
I just don't see how he can. And again, in his defense, it drives me nuts that you keep trying to make him a player that he's not. He's not a pass rusher. He's not. He doesn't have any natural pass rushing ability at all. He's big and fast and athletic. That doesn't mean anything when you're rushing the passer. I mean, you got to have those things, but you got to know how to rush the passer.
That's like the baseline.
He's got nothing. He's got no moves. I don't know why they keep doing that to him, but whatever.
And he's big, fast.
He'll get picked up, by the way. Someone will pick him up.
He's guaranteed. Big, fast. I mean, Taven Bryan got picked up right away a couple years ago.
Guaranteed. In my opinion, they put him in the wrong position from the get-go. I would have never drafted him to play a defensive end or an outside rush linebacker.
45 is big, fast, and athletic. But he's not Trayvon or Josh in terms of big, fast, and athletic.
No, but I tell you what, if you put him at inside will, he'd be pretty big and fast for an inside will linebacker.
Yeah.
You know
I also think at this point with him, man, there's blame to go around.
Yeah.
But I think at this point, his confidence has got to be so shot that it's just like,
well, I mean, look,
did you hear the Lagerman call on the radio? Did you hear about that?
No.
You remember when he jumped off sides?
Yes.
In the game?
Yes.
Lagerman says on the radio before the play, he says, anyone who jumps off sides here should be cut immediately.
No, and
45 jumps off sides. Yeah.
Well, who do you replace him with? DJ Coleman? Smith, number 92? I don't know if he's got the goods. I like Abdullah. I think Abdullah's got the goods. Well,
Abdullah's kind of his replacement, right? Or I guess Abdullah's already on the roster.
Yeah, he's on there. Are they willing to make that cut? I mean, Trent Baalke said he was our number 3 pass rusher not that long ago in camp. I just don't see it. I don't see it. But
never seen it. From the day they drafted him, didn't understand it.
So, you know, Lacey's there. Ledbetter's there. The starter D-line now. Lacey, Gotsis, Ledbetter, Devon Hamilton, RRH, as I like to write him down as, so much easier than Roy Robinson Harris, and Foley.
Yeah.
Dixon, as he made his way. For Hasek, who's a total gamer. I mean, I don't know if he would be on my active roster, but, there's something to, look, if you got a backup that, okay, may not play that much. If he does, he'll give you a little bit if you keep him in the right spot. But he's great in the, just working, like never tired, never, going half-ass, always working in the weight room, always, you need guys like that on your team.
You need Tom McManus's?
Similar to Tom McManus. I was told that by an NFL exec. Every organization needs a guy like, not like Tom McManus, but a guy like me in terms of just, you can count on him. He's going to work his ass off. He's going to try his ass off. He's going to play his ass off as best he can. The yelling at him doesn't bother him.
Yeah, I was going to never gets their feelings hurt.
No, I might yell back, but we can kind of handle that. He might challenge us to a fist fight, but we'll try to handle that. Not anymore, but back in the day. But you do need players like that. You do. So I don't know if Hasek is one, but we'll keep our eye on that one. But Dixon's, he went from outside backer to D line to gain some weight. I don't know. Is he going to be number 9? That's going to be another tough cut. Offensive line, I think O-line's going to be a little bit easier because of the injuries and camp. So you're going to be able to figure that out. You know who's going to make the team. You know who the borderline are right now. They need a good, solid week. I told you this story many times. My first year before the last game, it was our 5th preseason game, and I was going to play a ton. I think I may have started. I can't remember, but I was going to play a ton, like 3 quarters. And my linebacker coach, right before we leave the locker room, he's like, you got to be at your best tonight or you're not going to be here in the morning. I mean, right before. And I was like, all right, let's go, But you look back, you're like, wow, that was some pressure, man. And what did I do? I had about 6 tackles and a sack, so I ended up making the team. So the rest is history.
And it's this game that fans don't care about much and all that.
But it matters to
dude, to some of these guys, man, this is the Super Bowl, bro.
You listen, it's a chance to play more football. Like I said at the beginning of the show, it ends for everybody. And it does end in training camp for a lot of guys. So, keep playing, man. Good thing for the guys that don't make it. You got the XFL, you got the USFL, there's the CFL. I mean, you could find a way to keep playing ball if you want.
I'm sad Hard Knocks isn't going to show cuts this year.
They're not.
The Jets were very much like, you can't do that.
Yeah, it does suck. Listen, when you get cut, you go home, and everyone knows you got cut. So you got to deal with that crap, too. But then after a while, they'll start calling you to be on your amateur, football and basketball teams.
And you're way better than everybody else.
And you just kick everybody's ass.
Right. You're in way better shape and you're stronger. Yeah.
I think I told you, so I'll tell you real quick. So I get cut by the Saints. I moved to Chicago, and I'm tending bar and doing whatever a 23-year-old's doing, just acting the fool, right? And my oldest brother's friend, Steve Kleekamp, who was a quarterback in high school and junior college, great or whatever. He's playing a flag Sunday football game. So he calls me up. He's like, hey, do you think you could come play for us? And I was like, yeah, what the hell? I'll come play. It'll be fun. So I go out the night before and forget about the morning and get a phone call at about 6 in the morning. And I might have been out to like 5 in the morning. And it's Steve Kleekamp. And he's like, yo, Tommy, where you at, man? I'm like, what do you mean where I'm at? He's like, we got a game. Are you going to make it to the game? I'm like, oh, man, I had to drive into the suburbs. I'm dry heaving the whole way. I mean, I was awful. I was so sick. I get out there. He's like, oh, you don't look good, Tommy. I'm like, don't just leave me alone. I'll be fine. I go off. It was like, like on this field that has some woods. I had to go into the woods and puke a little bit. I was awful.
Release some demons.
Just awful. So he's like, well, what do you want to play? I'm like, let me just rush the passer, man. I'll just, I don't want to just rush the passer. And they had line and whatnot. First 3 plays, sack with a safety. And I go jogging off the field, and he's looking at me. He's like, it's going to be one of those days. I'm like, I guess so. It was great, though. It was great. It's fun. It's fun to remember the good times. But, yeah, heart goes out to anybody getting cut, man. It's not a fun thing. But, hey, at least you had the opportunity. You made it farther than most people, and it's a tough business. It is a very, very tough business. I'll tell you what businesses are tough. It's Team Tommy Mac. That's right. Great businesses right here throughout the First Coast and beyond. Make sure you visit them. And when you see the logo, I'm adding some embedded websites to the logos, Grammage. So then you just click on the logo, boom, right to the website, boom. Get right to some of the best businesses right here in town. Love them all. Chris Lucero's Bail Bonds, J-Dog Junk Removal, hey, and hauling. All you veterans out there. You know a veteran? They're looking for veterans to hire. So make sure you go to JDogJunkRemoval.com. Azar Sausage, Riverbend Ranch, The Carpet Man, and the Truck Accident Law Firm. They're the dream team when it comes to truck accidents. Go to them at TruckCrashLaw.com. All right, I got to go. I got to cut the grass. I got to do some business. I got to work out. I got to do a lot of stuff. So let's get it going. It's a Suck It Up Tuesday. Get to work. We're going to keep working and wish you nothing but a fantastic day. We'll be back on Friday after my time on the Jaguars Today radio show. We'll be back right here in the 1010XL podcast studios. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Stay cool. Be safe. And we'll see you right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mac. Peace.